What gifts are you holding this day? What are you viewing and seeing as a gift? What are your perceptions when it comes to gifts given? The gift of a new day, the gift of the natural sunlight, the gift of kindness, the gift of compassion, the gift of oneness, the gift of laughter, the gift of joy, the gift of sharing, the gift of water, the gifts that are so freely given. And in one's everyday life, gifts that are offered, gifts that are extended, tend to be overlooked, tend to not shine the brilliance of the gift. One's so caught up in a busy world. The gift of being your authentic self. The gift of being divine creation, part of. The gift of every breath that is inhaled. The gift of your beating heart. So many gifts, often overlooked in the everyday, in the busyness of routine, the busyness in trying to get ahead, if you will, the busyness of busyness. What gifts are you holding this day? What gifts are you holding this day? Is it the gift of love extended to others? Is it the gift of compassion extended to others? Is it the gift of kindness extended to others? And love, compassion, and kindness, to nourish one, to be kind to oneself, to be compassionate to oneself, to love oneself. What gifts are you holding? In the oneness, in the wholeness, sharing higher consciousness. So this day we want the sharing, the conversation, to be around the gift of love, compassion, kindness, but the gift of oneself. For what are you bringing to others? Each soul as brilliant as the rays of the sun. And through life experience, it gets covered. It gets covered. The light gets covered. One feeling brilliant isn't often. For ones have listened to unkind words, perhaps from others, perhaps from oneself. So much conditioning takes place when one is developing who they are. For if each soul understood their own magnificence, the miracle that one is, one would understand it is the contribution, if you will, from others, from one's surroundings, from one's experiences, that create and sculpt how one feels about oneself. And often it is harsh judgment and harsh words upon oneself from oneself. Often it is harsh judgment upon one's being from one's own thoughts, from one's own unkind words, and then setting forth a belief system to allow these unkind thoughts and words to become, we want to say reality, meaning to become a belief. Oh, I'm not good enough. I've never been good at that. No, my parents used to say, oh, please don't sing when there's a birthday. You truly cannot sing, love. Kind words and great judgment. So one then is conditioned not to sing. One is conditioned feeling that their voice should not be heard. One then is conditioned wanting to keep one's voice to oneself. And it can go further, not wanting to share one's voice, not wanting to share grandness of oneself in the fear of being condemned by others. So many well-meaning people create havoc in others' mind by unkind words, unkind judgment, and even if they are meaning to be kind. I'm saying this because I have your back. You really shouldn't sing in front of others. You really are off key. Even when one is wanting to be helpful, one is contributing to another's sense of who they are. Now it is up to the one receiving the words what they are going to do with the words. Most tend to hang on to them. Most tend to hang on to an unkind word for years, perhaps decades, a lifetime. And if one hears it pounded in enough times, it becomes part of who they believe they are. And it covers up the brilliance. So one sings off key, understanding with time and some patience and some practice, perhaps one could learn to sing on key. But before that takes place, the belief is set, I cannot sing. People don't wish to hear me sing. I would just be unkind to others if I sing in front of them. They're not going to appreciate it. They're going to laugh at me. And so one then starts withdrawing. And to the point where they don't even hum a song while where they are being creative, whistle while you work. Ones won't even sing along with their favorite song because they are so aware that others are feeling they are off key. They won't even sing in their own presence without any others around, robbing themselves of the experience of joy, of the experience of joy. How many times did you want to do something? You just wanted to do it. And before you could have the experience, you talked yourself out of it. Just an example. You are wanting to feel the coolness of the perfect lakeside water. You are wanting to place your feet and your body in the water that is calling you forth, the warm water of Mother Earth calling you for the experience. And so perhaps you find a place, rent a cabin perhaps, or perhaps you find it just driving along a country road, something that calls you. And you are wanting the experience. We could even use a beach. You are wanting the experience to place your body in the ocean. You are wanting the experience to feel the waves caress your feet and your legs. You are wanting the experience of being one with Mother Earth. And then you are going to put your bathing suit on. And many times, ones will get dressed for the experience, if you will, and wish no one else was around because they are in fear of condemnation of their appearance. And others that pass judgment upon ones perhaps wearing a bathing suit. We are only giving an example, but it's a good example because so many are so self-conscious about their appearance that they do not find the space of creation to feel the joy in which they wish to feel. In which they wish to feel. So they don't put on their bathing suit. They don't even step forth to the beach. They look out and perhaps they see that others around them and their perception look better in their bathing suits. And they just take themselves away from the experience. Feeling sad, intuitively feeling sad, not because of how they would look in their bathing suit, but how they robbed themselves of the experience that was calling them forth to feel the oneness of Mother Earth. The joy, the experience. Now there are hundreds of examples we could give. What gives ones the right, if you will, to place forth opinions, condemnation? What makes one feel that an opinion expressed to another in unkind words? You're not going to try and get that bathing suit on, are you? Don't you think you should lose some weight before you do that? Or perhaps it is the other way around. Don't you think you should wait to gain some weight before you do that? Don't put that on. Your body is not youthful. You're not 20 years old. Cover it up. Don't show ones all those wrinkles. And on and on and on it goes. For ones do not appreciate the gift of the human body. Who created the rules of who should look like what? And we say it so lovingly. We say it so filled with kindness and compassion. Ones do not see the gift of being themselves, the creation. Where was one before physical form? Where was one before physical form? So ones come into physical form and they have their beautiful body temple, and yet under conditioning, and it starts very young. It could start the moment one is born, the moment one arrives. Everyone is looking for the great perfection, not understanding of the perfection. Ones would see something as a flaw. And in divine creations, there are no flaws. And so ones walk their journey, feeling self-conscious, feeling very aware of one's physical appearance, and then holding these beliefs inward and truly robbing themselves of the joy that is naturally held within their body temple. Think about it. And why would one condemn another? It is usually when one is feeling so insecure within themselves. They project it outwards. They are feeling what they perceive as flaws in their own being. If ones would see the perfection in themselves and in others, there would be no judgment. There would be no condemnation. There would be no rules as to what size one should be to be perfect. When each soul, each body temple is perfect. Just think about it. You are a miracle. Think about it. Where were you before you arrived? Could you not see the beauty in the miracle? Could you not see the beauty in the miracle of the arrival? And yet, the moment one enters, there is a grand space of feeling less than, if one believes they are less than. And even if one could see the brilliance of one's own self, it would not take long for another to say, oh, you shouldn't speak like that. You shouldn't praise yourself like that. Oh, no, don't praise yourself. If ones could understand that one is not above another or below another, if ones could see others in a space of oneness, in the space of oneness, ones could truly see that each soul is divine light. So let us just walk through this. There is a magnificent garden, a flower garden created. And in this flower garden, what creates the magnificence of it, if you will, are the variety of flowers, the perfection of the colors, the perfection of the sizes, the perfection of the height, one's growing so tall, one's staying close to the ground, one's vibrant red, one's white, one's blue, all different, but all creating a portrait of oneness. Now even ones could see the beauty when the flower blooms, has the life cycle, if you will. So the flower being the seed, coming up from the earth, expanding into the fullness of all that it is, expressing itself right into creation because it is creation. And living out, if you will, the lifespan in feeling meant to be. Do you think flowers condemn each other? It is absurd. And even the flowers that are not so pleasing to the eye, if you will, one cannot help but see the miracle in the creation. And it is true with so many preferences. Ones have their own perception of beauty. Oh, I prefer a red rose than a yellow rose. I prefer white roses. I prefer pink roses. I prefer wildflowers. I prefer the daisy. I prefer the buttercup. And on it goes. So there's personal preferences, looking at the creation from the viewpoint of one's perception. But if one could expand and appreciating all the creation, creating the magnificent flower bed, if you will, one could see that each hold the other in oneness. Have you noticed that when ones are creating the most magnificent flower arrangement, if you will, they use colors and shapes and sizes that enhance the beauty of one another, that enhance the beauty of one another. So why isn't it like that in human form? Why could ones not understand that each are brilliant on their own, each a seed flourishing into all that it is meant to be? And before one is all they are meant to be, the condemnation starts. And then the belief system is put in place. Each soul, each being is here for grand purpose, grand brilliance, all bringing forth beauty, all bringing forth creation of the universe. Why would one condemn a creation of the universe? And if one is feeling more than another, well, look at me, I'm more brilliant, I'm this, I'm that, fill in the blank. It would hold true that they would have to have the contrast, if you will, to see another in a different perception, to see themselves better than. I look much better in my bathing suit than you do in yours. So the contrast is. But then it goes the other way. Ones will look at another and feel less than. One's feeling more than another, one's feeling less than another. And it's usually less than, because it doesn't matter where one goes, there is always contrast, there is always diversity. The human body, it is one, and yet everyone looking different. All created, all looking different. So you could feel that you are the most magnificent flower in the flower bed, and someone uproot you, if you will, and place you among flowers that are even more vibrant than you feel you are, and it wouldn't take long for one to feel less than, and only moments before they were feeling more than. What we are sharing is when you are looking out into the world of others, when you are passing judgment, when you look at a stranger, you're out shopping, well, this one is this one is that, this one, and pointing out truly what ones are doing, are pointing out their own insecurities. They're pointing out their own insecurities. For even the one that feels that they are the most vibrant in the flower bed has insecurities, or they would not be comparing in the first place. They would not be comparing. They would be understanding of the oneness, of the sharing of the soil, if you will. They would be understanding of all the creation. And as we said, what is brilliant to one is not brilliant to another. So you could be the most magnificent red rose that is presented, but one perhaps prefers a yellow rose. So the red rose instantly feels less than, because the one that was choosing in the selection didn't choose them, chose the yellow rose. And it doesn't take long for one to believe in their brilliance and then feel not the chosen one, if you will. I wish I was yellow. Why am I red? Why do I have to be red? I wish I was yellow. If I was yellow, ones would like me more. Think about what we are sharing. And all we are sharing is for ones to go on the search of who one is, one's authentic self. Ones will agree, most would agree, one is not just their physical form. That is why ones will say, oh, looks good on the outside, but oh, not very nice on the inside. Why? It feels like there is an outer shell and an inner essence. And isn't it of grand truth that when one is extending beauty and light and love, compassion and kindness from their inner essence, so sincere in their kind words to others, so uplifting to others, so inspirational to others, ones tend to overlook the outer shell. Ones tend to overlook the outer shell because of the magnificence that is flowing outward. Think of all the plants, if you will, that perhaps do not, let us just say they wouldn't make it to the fragrant flower bed, but they have healing components. They can heal others. The plants that heal others may not look like the magnificent red rose, but still offering the best of who it is. Find the space within to see your beauty, your brilliance. Find the space within to share your magnificence with others. Shine your beauty forth. You are a miracle. And when you see yourself as the miracle, and when you see others in the same light, nobody above, nobody below, all miracles, all walking a journey, all having, if you will, their own experience, all creating their own layers, all holding the judgment because of conditioning, because of what they know, the insecurity within. Where does it start? It starts as soon as one comes into physical form. Think about how one views children, babies. Yes, babies are all adorable, but ones will look for little flaws right away. Or they'll say they're not walking just yet. What's wrong with them? They're not walking. Why isn't my baby wanting to fill in the blank? Finding flaws of the perfection. Who sets the calendar? Think about it. This is a gentle conversation to remind ones of their magnificence, and to be reminded to be mindful of unkind words to oneself or others, condemnation towards oneself or to others, then believing in them. Perception. The phrase, love is in the eye of the beholder. Does that not sit true? So true. Love is in the eye of the beholder. But what ones do not see the gift, and this is how we started the conversation, the gift is one is the beholder. One has the love already within. It was there before physical form, the perfection, the pureness, the oneness, all there. Light, love so grand it is light, all there before physical form. Love is in the eye of the beholder. But ones have to see themselves as love. And when one can see themselves in the pureness of who one is, in the love in which they came forth, one would never condemn oneself or another. Words to ponder. Words to ponder. Be your brilliant self. Experience Mother Earth. Experience what one wishes to create. The desires. Swim if you wish to swim. Walk in the direction your heart is calling, and walk without holding on to condemnation. Walk without holding on to harsh judgment. Walk without holding on to unkind words that were said decades ago. You are as brilliant as the rays of the sun. Grand creation of divine creation. There is great love for you.